Alright, in this video we're going to go over the disassembly of the Springfield Armory XDM. This particular model is a 4.5-inch barrel chamber in .40 Smith & Wesson with an OD green grip frame. Now, for some reason, I see this all the time in the store, I don't understand it, probably because of the way Springfield ships these guns. It comes in a pretty large briefcase-sized case. The gun is sunk in pretty deep in a bunch of this firm foam. A lot of people, when they pick up their gun for the first time, will go right for the only obvious place to lift it, which is in the trigger, and they'll try to lift the gun by the trigger. Don't do that. Practice good, safe handling. Find another place to lift your weapon. First thing we do in handling a firearm is we check to make sure it's unloaded. Depress the magazine release. We don't have a magazine in. They're both in the case right now. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the slide, rack back. You actually have to have the grip safety depressed, otherwise the weapon won't rack for you. You can see the chamber's empty, and we can again disassemble it. Now, to disassemble it, we need to lock the slide back. Go ahead and retract the slide. Push up with your thumb to engage the slide stop. Take the takedown lever here and push upward. Rotate 90 degrees so it points upward. And then release the slide so that it runs forward off the weapon. You don't need to pull the trigger and fire the sear on this weapon like you would do with a Glock or a Smith & Wesson, because when you rotate this takedown lever, it actually depresses the little trigger assembly here just a smidge. Set the frame assembly aside. Typical Browning camo action, barrel, recoil guide, and recoil spring underneath. What we're going to do is we're going to depress the end of the recoil spring guide here. That'll allow us to rotate the entire thing away. You can remove the recoil spring and the recoil spring guide. Set those aside. For the barrel, just lift up on the barrel here. Once you push the barrel slightly forward, you'll be able to grab the locking lugs and pull the barrel right out of the top of the slide. For the slide, this is about all you're going to need to do for your standard field strip. You're not going to need to worry too much about cleaning. You may want to clean here on the facing where there's the firing pin and the cartridge face. The rest of it should be fairly clean. Go ahead and use a little bit of dry graphite or guttin lube, whatever it is you want to use on the action rails here. For the barrel, use whatever it is. Use a bore snake Q-tips and clean out the inside of the barrel. Clean up around here the ramp area and then the face here that lugs up against the slide to lock the action into battery. For the frame, there won't be too much you need to do with this. Don't mess with the trigger assembly in case you're exceedingly confident in what you're doing. There won't be too much gunpowder kickback. You may need to wipe up just a little bit here around the extractor ejector area, and then on these front rails here. Again, use that dry graphite or lube on these rails when you put the gun back together. And that is the disassembly of the Springfield Armory XDM handgun.